Okay, how we doing? Pastor Jim Oliver, St. John's Community, Oakland. And again, we're now working on the 53 most famous verses in the Bible for your edification. And today we're going to begin with, and it says, "Is any among you afflicted? Let him pray. Is any merry? Let him sing psalms." Amen? So in that text, and again, I had something a little entertaining for you today, if I could share a little of that with you. Again, if any among you are afflicted, pray. And of course, we know sometimes where our afflictions come from. And of course, we know all basic religions pray. And as we understand prayer, not only do the religions pray, but also atheists pray and non-Christians pray and all that. So what do we say? Are we petitioning God or the forces of the universe when we're praying? Or are we looking for something deep down within us, in our subconscious or in our experiences, whereby we can tap into past experiences and allow those to propel us forward? Or are we kind of strengthening our faith, our resolve, our abilities? And again, all this comes from properly knowing God, whereby we know that the God is within us, and so we have to tap into that source within. We got to go within. We can't look for anything without. We got to go within to strengthen ourselves. Because the Christ within us also strengthens, and we can do all things through that Christ that is within us that strengthens us. And so we want to pray, and we just want help, and we want to be healed if we're sick, and we want restoration or relief or rejuvenation. So we want all these things when we're praying. We're praying for these things to come to us, to get manifested within us, okay? And it was said that here, this James, who never said much and never did much, and of course, and as they say, some people say, wasn't too much good for nothing as a disciple, and of course he got killed for nothing, as they said. But nonetheless, one thing he did say was, speaking to Jesus, says, "Lord, should we call out now to have thunder come down from heaven?" And of course, we know James and John, the Zebedee brothers, are also known as the men of thunder, okay? Because obviously James, we know, represents that period of time, the latter part of June and July. We got 12 disciples, and you got 12 months, so of course they're all, pertinent to their particular time and season. And of course we know the thunder comes in late June and July. So that's the analogy and the allegory of James. And so, but also, theologically speaking, it's been said that, this book, James, was not written by James. It was supposed to have been written by some Catholic priest or something like that. So, at any rate, believe what you will, and of course, do your studies, show yourself approved unto God, rightly divide the word of truth. And, a lot of people have been writing things that have subscribed to another individual. And so, if you want to believe that this was the James that supposedly walked with Jesus, or if in fact they walked at all, then you can grab onto that, okay? All right, so the next lesson we want to look at was Matthew 26:26. And so here in 26:26, we see that it says, "And as they were eating, Jesus took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to the disciples and said, 'Take, eat, this is my body.'" And we know traditionally, as you read history books, there's a lot of people that are eating a lot of different things. And so it could be just a concept of understanding, again, who the physical Jesus is as the spiritual being that we subscribe him to be. And again, I don't want to just get philosophical here, but if he's the Son, the S-U-N, then of course we're partaking of that, constantly, and we know that the Son does strengthen us. And of course the Son, allows the grapes to grow, and of course, grapes generate wine, and wine in the body references blood. So you got all these allegories and these connections here. And again, let's get real as we move forward, and it's going to get a little heavier. Let's understand what these concepts are, and what these terms mean, and what these words are actually conveying. So here in Matthew, it says, "Take heed, this is my body." Yes, we're as fine wine. We're wonderfully and miraculously made. It says, "Drink, my children, grow," and we have to drink to grow. "Take, eat, partake of the rays of my body. You, my sons and daughters, my children, I am the Father. I am the husbandman of Mother Earth, and we have given you life. We have birthed you. Worship us. Honor thy mother and thy father, and your life will be long upon the land which the Lord your God has given thee. Thou shalt not kill for it. Thou shalt not commit adultery for it. Thou shalt not steal for it. Thou shalt not bear false witness to attain it." But we know all these things have been done, as pertaining to land, because land is a limited commodity on this planet. And so people are beginning to scrabble for the land and paying exorbitant amounts of money for pieces of land. And as we know, there's no, new supply of land coming forth. So we got to, get out there as fast as we can and buy our own little plot of land. But nonetheless, we shouldn't be killing for it. We shouldn't be stealing it and taking it from people under whatever false pretense it is, or saying that you discovered it or that you found it, and et cetera, et cetera. And but we know that's been going on for many days. But no one is giving anything back. Okay, they steal things and give back, and then they want to persecute someone else for stealing something. So it just goes on. We're in a terrible place because we've done terrible things. And no one can walk around as pious as they want to be. But nonetheless, that also brings us to another text here, where we should, after we pass through the Psalms of Psalm 118, where it says in chapter 31, Psalms 19, Psalms 31, verse 19. And it says, "Oh, how great is thy goodness, which thou hast laid up for them that fear thee, which thou hast wrought for them that trust in thee before the sons of men." Just to touch on this for a moment before we get to 2 Corinthians. Here, two words jump out, fear and trust. And what we need to know here is that these words, fear, for example, is a perception. Trust is also a perception. If you fear somebody, it's because of where you're perceiving them to be. Maybe they got a gun, or maybe they're bigger than you, whatever the case may be. And so, you're perceiving that you should be afraid, or that you're unable to, be in combat with them, moral combat, or whatever you're going to call it. And the same thing is when you trust somebody. You're looking at this person. You might have his credit report, you might not, but you're perceiving that this person that you maybe going to borrow some money or whatever he's going to do is going to pay it back. Okay, so we use our best judgments. So these concepts are connected to our faith. Again, the faith in that person. And again, whether or not you fear, and whether or not you feel you have the faith to, handle the situation. So these are just concepts, and so they say we should have a fear for God, and sometimes, that's like a negative term, but mostly also you can have love for God, and it could, put you in the right, relationship whereby you don't have fear, but it's because of love that you're doing the right thing. Whereas here they presented it in a negative term for whatever reason, as though you fear God, so therefore you're going to do the right thing because God can punish you, okay? And so that gave the church perhaps a little authority for them to be able to be in a position to punish you. And the church punished people by, excommunicating them or saying that they're not entitled to worship, or even in the past, they actually even literally kill people, So we got these threats going on. We got these terms going on to control people and all that. Okay? But again, we're just touching on these verses. Study to show yourself approved by studying these verses yourself and try to get an understanding of what is being presented to you here. And then, understanding the allegories of which these verses were created. So looking at 2 Corinthians 4:16, our fourth verse for the day. Okay, reading 2 Corinthians 4:16. And we got to back up to verse 15. For all things are for your sakes, that the abundant grace might, through the thanksgiving of many, rebound to the glory of God. For which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. So again, here we're talking about thanksgiving, but more so we're talking about being renewed. We're talking about being made better. We're talking about being great. We're talking about enhancing our knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So it comes from, again, giving thanks and praying, and hopefully then that this could be a blessing to all. But too often, again, however, people, decide they want to pray. Sometimes they're, some people might say they're just selfish prayers. They're just praying for themselves. But it's supposed to be good to also pray for others. And of course, pray as much and often as you can. And even though we know that as time goes on, our body is deteriorating, our mind should be getting sharper. Our understanding should be getting better. We should be becoming more wise, more loving, more kind, more gentle. But in some cases, that's not the case. And if you see that that's not happening to you, then obviously you're doing something wrong. You're not living right. Okay, and so we need to be aware of what's happening in our lives, okay? Are we mellowing out with age? Are we getting better? Are we getting more kind? Are we starting to see the light? I mean, the light has been there all along, but we just haven't seen it because we're probably so busy running around doing other things, okay? But we need to see that light, okay? We need to get clarity, okay? We need to get understanding. And we, of course, want to continue to give thanks because of the time that we've had here in this life and all the blessings and the things that we've received and the friendships, the family, the love, and all that. And so we need to become more loving, less hateful, less jealous, less evil, less warring, less racist, less a jerk, okay? And some people just seem to get worse as they get older. Come on now, and the only reason some people get better is because they can't do the things they can't pick a fight anymore. They can barely walk or whatever the case may be. And I know some unfortunate, maybe you haven't ran into the people that I have, but I've ran into some people that have done some evil things, and they know they've done some evil things. And still, as they get older, they'll ask for a favor. They know they can't do too much anymore. And I don't know what's going on through their minds. If they're feeling remorseful or sorry that they've been a turkey or whatever. But why wasn't they were that way earlier? They must have thought they were going to live forever. Or they're going to be in great health forever, or they thought they had it going on, or whatever the case may be. So anyway, let's strengthen the inner man. Let us renew ourselves day by day. Let us get wise. Let's get some spiritual input. If you got to go to yoga, go to yoga. If you got to go to church, go to church. Whatever it takes, okay, to strengthen your spiritual existence, your spiritual being, your mind, okay? Because after all, God is infinite mind. So try to be a better person and stop, you know what you've been doing. let's wake up, shake up, and strengthen our consciousness. and be who God has called us to be. Okay, let's be a blessing to this world. And because we obviously, let me just call a group out. You know, many of those people in Congress in America, they still will do things that are evil. They still do things that they know they shouldn't do. They're still doing things for money as though the money is going to help them, live better, and they're just setting up the place where, obviously they're going to spend eternity, I'm not going to go into that right now, but it's not what you think it is, okay? But nonetheless, let's get this great, let's wake up and let's straighten up and let's be right. You learn this in kindergarten, as they say, and so you should have been doing this all your life. Amen. May God bless you and God keep you. That's my prayer. Thank you for watching. And again, we'll be streaming live here at STA Community Oakland. Amen. We want to create a new community of believers. If you like these understandings and new insights into the Bible, please hit the subscribe button, and so you can be alerted as to when the new episodes will be out, so you won't miss any parts of the Bible as we continue to walk through for your understanding to make you a better person.